So, can I tell my story?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this is a story from when I was in college and I lived in New York. I played rugby for Fordham, the school I went to, and one of the games my freshman year, I got kicked in the head with a cleat, and the scar is still kind of visible over there. Busted up all the skin around my eye, and I had to go to the hospital to get that sewn up and taken care of. Actually, the stitches were taken out by the captain of the team with a broken razor in my dorm bathroom. That's a different story. That's not the main one I'm going to tell you, but that was kind of a funny side bit to that. So, yeah, I got them sewed up. Everything kind of got put back into place and had them taken out. But for a couple days, maybe about a week afterwards, I had awful migraines all the time. Just had this piercing head pain, and so I thought, okay, I can just kind of, my bell got rung. I can kind of let it, subsist, and it'll go away eventually. And it was just awful. Like it hurt whenever I tried to read or whenever I tried to watch TV, anything. The lights got irritating, so I thought, all right, I need to go back to the hospital because might be something a little more serious. So I went to St. Barnabas Hospital, which was a couple blocks away from my apartment. I walked there one day, and so I was waiting in the ER to get taken care of, and it's the usual bunch of kind of crazy people hanging out in the ER. There was an elderly woman who was at bare minimum HIV positive. She might have had full-blown AIDS, but she was yelling about how that was okay because Jesus had cured her or something. There was an elderly Dominican man telling everyone in Spanish about all the coke he had snorted in his life. So I tried to stay away from that bunch. I figured I'll just sit down next to someone who looks normal. So I sat down next to a guy who looked to be about my age, maybe a little older, and we just started talking. We were waiting for the doctors to get to us, and I think it was baseball season, so we talked about the Yankees and just kind of shooting the shit stuff. And I noticed after a little while that his arm was kind of turned that way behind his chair, and I was sitting, it was his left arm, and I was sitting to his right, so I couldn't really see it clearly, and I figured I won't say anything about it. That's just kind of odd that he's sitting like that, but whatever. So he, after we had been talking for a little while, he turned to me and he said, all right, can you tell that cop standing about, there's a cop maybe 15 feet away from us, and he pointed to her and he said, can you let her know that I have to go to the bathroom? So I said, sure. I mean, that's kind of a weird request, but yeah, I'll let her know. So I walked up to her and said, the guy sitting there needs to go take a leak. So she said, okay. Didn't seem like that was a weird request to her. So she walked over to him, and I realized the reason why his arm was behind his chair was because he was handcuffed with one wrist, and then the other cuff was around the support beam behind us. And apparently, as the cop explained to me, he had been in a knife fight that morning and had been stabbed and was in the hospital, also under arrest. So she uncuffed him and went to go walk with him to the bathroom to make sure he didn't try to run away or whatever. And that was the last time I saw him, because while he was in the bathroom, the doctor came to me and said, okay, we're ready to take your, get you checked out and all that. Everything turned out to be fine. I just had a concussion, but there wasn't any serious damage or anything that would require anything else besides rest, so that did subside eventually. But I remember thinking, as he was walking away, that all of a sudden I wanted to know a lot more about him because of the situation he was in and what had happened that morning, why he had been in a knife fight, how somebody like that could be so calm and be chatting about baseball and, just really mundane shit while looking at jail time and possibly whatever they'd have to do in the hospital. And I will never know any of those things because I didn't see him again, and I just have to wonder about them. That's my story.